See, this is an important misnomer to catch out, because when we start on the spiritual journey, this awakening journey, the mind, we're doing it with our mind. Can't help it. This is how it goes. So then the mind is looking for awakening or truth as some kind of thing to get. See, it's like, I want to get this thing. But see, both, it's not true. The one that's wanting to get it, I'm not trying to be non-dual now, but I'm just saying, the one that's wanting to get it is like an imaginary thing appearing in consciousness, trying to get this projection it has about what truth is, trying to get this. But see, truth doesn't have any kind of form, or it's not an object to get. So it's also a delusion. The one that's going to try to get the truth is a delusion, and the truth is a delusion. This has to be realized somehow, because a way that the mind keeps this going, perpetuates this delusion, is it has this measuring stick. It has this criteria that it created. Imagine, the mind is telling you what it looks like to be awake. The mind has no idea what it is to be awake. It's like a baby trying to understand what it is to be an adult. It can't do it. How can it do it? It can imagine. I used to imagine all the adults were mature. I just thought I just trusted them all when I was a kid. I'm like, they're an adult. And then later I realized, whoa, I trust the kids more than the adults. Everything's backwards sometimes, you know. So the mind creates this measuring stick with this ridiculous criteria, which that's why I like to challenge this stuff sometimes. It says you should be at peace. And then my question is, how much peace? How often, right? Let's say you sleep 6 hours, you're awake 18 hours. How much peace out of that 18 hours are you supposed to have? Now the even better question, at what frequency or hertz does the intensity of that peace need to be? And who's going to measure it? And who came up with these answers anyway? Somebody says you should be at peace 60% of the day. Says who? Oh, this enlightened master. Oh yeah, well this other enlightened master said 70%. Oh, another enlightened master said don't even worry about it. Another one said be the Buddha without bliss. He's saying like don't even like forget about peace. Huh? Who's right? How do the masters contradict each other? They're supposed to be masters. If you're master, then you say everybody has to agree, right? There's some linear explanation for awakening. There's not. That's what I'm trying to tell you, like, forget about awakening, forget about truth. Listen to this inner vibration of how it's moving you and guiding you. And if it tells you to look at certain things in your life because it wants to, they're appearing to be obstructions to realizing your true nature, look at it. Don't let the mind come in and non-dual it away and say, well, there's nothing to look at. And that can go the other way too. Let's say, see, the mind will say whatever will tell you the opposite of what needs to be done. Let's say intuition is saying, you know what, you're good. You don't need to look at anything. But the mind's like, no, you need to look at it. You gotta work this stuff out so that then you can become more self-realized. See, it'll play that hat too. It's just a shape shifter. It can play anything it needs to cause you stress. And it's usually going to say the opposite. That's why a really important stage or part in your evolutionary journey is when you can start to discern the difference between when your mind's talking and when your inner self or intuition is guiding you. This can save you a lot of trouble, you know. And for the purposes of, you know, gut-wrenching plots that the universe seems to like to make, it can be really difficult sometimes to discern too. It can be very subtle. It can be very subtle, you know. But this is what we signed up for. This is it. So take it light. It's okay. You can't mess up. All the mistakes you ever make or are gonna make, God's gonna transform them and use them turn that into wisdom. some way, somehow. You can't miss. Every mistake is going to be some learning opportunity there, even for the most dullest person who they can't learn. They just keep, you can say they have a deep mean streak in them. Life's gonna help them too. And if they can't get help this life, the next plane they're gonna get help for sure. Some call that hell, but really it's a learning experience. They couldn't get it here, we're gonna get it there. So nobody misses. In the end, nobody misses. Everybody's gonna be awake. What does it mean, everybody's gonna be awake? Aren't we already awake? It means that the individual self is going to come to realize its true nature more and more and more. It's going to become more and more and more awake. That's what it means. You get past a certain point to where it's like, okay, everything's okay, actually. Even when it's not okay, it's okay. Somebody say, how you doing? I'm good, man, actually. Really? Like, because you look like you're hurt or something. Yeah, but it's okay. It's good, though, actually. Because you know everything's good. So don't look for truth like it's some kind of, you're conquesting something, like you're trying to get to the top of the Himalayan mountain, Mount Everest. It's not like that. You don't find it. You don't find it. Truth gets revealed in you. Awakening gets revealed in you, through you, more and more and more and more. You surrender to that. And when it's time to look at something that seems to be obstructing that, you go with that natural flow to look at it. And then some space opens, and then this truth or awakening that's already inside you, it just flows more. It's like you've opened yourself up more now, and it flows even more. There's no end to the amount of opening. You can keep getting more open and more expansion. It's infinite. That's why I like that analogy about the mango. It just keeps getting sweeter and sweeter, but it never gets overly sweet. Muji said that. I like it. That's what it is. So if you catch yourself looking for truth and saying, man, I haven't found it yet, or if you say, I have found it, catch yourself. Say, whoa, I'm back in the matrix. That's cool though. Don't judge it. Just catch it. Truth, awakening, it's an infinite unfolding. That's what it is. You're living your truth right now to the best of your ability. You just are. Everyone's doing the best they can do all the time, whether they know it or not. You see what I mean? The whole show's running itself. It just is. But we're deeply afforded the experience that we're actually doing something, that there's an us that's doing something, that we're really this thing that appears to be doing something. And we are, but superficially. We're not as autonomous as we think. Okay? So that realization also continues to unfold more and more and more. Have a good day.